10. Detroit Become Human. David Cage's fifth game is his strongest by a long shot. Set in a near future where androids have become commonplace, Detroit Become Human examines the way society has been altered in this new world. Following free androids across a variety of dynamics, Detroit socially and morally allows players to become truly immersed in this future, and asks us whether we can empathise with robots or AI in a society where we have used them to make our lives easier. Though some of the references to race are about as subtle as a whale trying ballroom dancing, overall Detroit asks some compelling questions about our possible future, while making us consider our world in a different light as well. 9. Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. The notion of exploring mental illness from a point of view where the term had yet to be invented is an intriguing one, and it's the goal Ninja Theory set for themselves with the compelling Norse adventure Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. Afflicted with schizophrenia, Senua is seen as a seer by some and an accursed witch by others. Her own trauma only causes her more trouble as she seeks to mount a journey to hell in hopes of finding redemption and purpose. With an immersive audio and visual experience that really puts you in Senua's fractured psyche, Hellblade is one of the most fascinating and troubling looks at mental illness to ever be constructed in the gaming world. A sequel is coming exclusively to Xbox, which feels like a massive shame. Everyone should be involved in Senua's story. Number 8. Control. One of 2019's best new franchises, Control puts players in the shoes of Jessie Faden as she assumes management of the Bureau of Control, a secret interdimensional government organisation. With in-depth world building and tons of lore, Control establishes a secret subsection of society where aliens, monstrosities and extra-dimensional creatures threaten the safety of our world at every turn. Connected with the world of Alan Wake, also from developer Remedy Entertainment, Control has built a realm that might be home to two cool franchises instead of just one. With shades of X-Files and Twin Peaks to boot, Control is one of the most exciting new stories to come along in a good long while. Remedy are hot in demand right now, so here's hoping they manage to control their schedule and release a sequel for Jessie at some point in the future. Number 7. Death Stranding. Another of 2019's coolest new franchises, Death Stranding manages to weave a fascinating original story out of the mostly desolate post-apocalyptic open-world genre. Playing as Sam Bridges, players battle ghosts and terrorists alike while they work to transport packages, reconnect a fractured country, and unravel the mystery behind why the worlds of the dead and the living have suddenly crossed paths. While the complex narrative and challenging, sometimes quite clunky gameplay left some players scratching their heads, the emotional core of the story remains one of its strongest features, and the final trump card in its vast bag of tricks. It's an absolutely acquired taste that does its best to turn players away, but if you can get past its uninviting first couple of hours, it might sink its hooks in and not let go for 50 hours. Number 6. Final Fantasy VII Remake. Naturally, one of the greatest JRPGs of all time has one banger of a story. Final Fantasy VII Remake capitalises whole hog on the great plot and characters of the original game, expanding it on every bit of what the Midgard section of Final Fantasy VII has to offer. With massive new sections that help to flesh out the world of Final Fantasy VII and a pile of new characters to fill out the cast, Final Fantasy VII Remake makes the journey of Cloud Strife and his friends into one of the most epic tales of the last generation. Further, with at least 2 more installments in this exceptional new series, the thrills of Final Fantasy VII Remake are far from over. Let's just hope that Square Enix can keep firing on all cylinders for as many shots of Final Fantasy VII they continue to serve up. Now then, did somebody say dance contest? Number 5. Bloodborne. The realms of H.P. Lovecraft have provided inspiration to dozens of great horror games since the inception of the medium, but few can match Bloodborne for sheer scope and understanding of Lovecraft's mad mythos. Set in a Victorian-style city called Yharnam, Bloodborne sees you as a hunter. Tasked with slaying the vampires, werewolves, and other monstrosities that have emerged from the abyss, you must survive the terrors of the night while seeking a cure for your own infected blood. Though the lore of the game may be hard to decipher for those who put in the time to unravel this horrifying, mysterious tale, Bloodborne is one of the greatest horror stories ever told. And if you don't think it's a horror game, the werewolf literally 10 seconds in would like a word, as it rips out your throat. Number 4. Uncharted 4: A Thief's End. The adventures of Nathan Drake have offered some of the highest quality and best acted storytelling of the last 2 console generations. Uncharted 4, as the culmination of the series, takes this franchise to new narrative heights, while wrapping up the story of its central protagonist. As Nate settles into a dull but happy retirement with Elena Fisher, he can't help but feel the pull towards the adventure that defined his younger years. When his brother suddenly comes back into his life with a tantalising new proposition, Nate decides to saddle up for one last globe-trotting quest, but his final adventure might cost him everything he's worked so hard to build. With some of the most convincing voice acting and a subtlety for storytelling that the rest of the series kind of lacks, Uncharted 4 is undoubtedly the crown jewel in Naughty Dog's long-treasured franchise. Rest up, Nate mate, you lovable mass murderer you. Oh. Number 3. Inside. From the makers of Limbo, one of last generation's standout indies, comes Inside, the story of a young boy navigating a dangerous government/corporate complex with mysterious means as his sole motivation. Told with no dialogue whatsoever, the narrative of Inside speaks for itself through the actions your character takes, and the things you observe in the increasingly disturbing facility that you make your way through over the course of the kinda short game. With some really jarring narrative left turns over the breadth of its story, few games pack as much surprising from their humble beginnings as Inside does. A side-scroller with some pretty devilish puzzles, Inside's best trick is how open it is for interpretation. Even in 2021, no two people may feel the same by its credits. Number 2. God of War. A next-generation adventure that breathes new life into a franchise that had long gone a bit stagnant, God of War came out of 2018 as the nearly undisputed pick for the Game of the Year, and much of that is down to its thrilling story of Norse gods and monsters. While the realm in which it takes place offers plenty of fresh flavour, it is ultimately the touching tale of a damaged man trying to connect with his son and build a better life for him that makes God of War such a compelling bit of storytelling. It's a tale of redemption and trauma unfolding gradually over a vast and intricate world. With a raw, real emotional core and plenty of grand adventure along the way, God of War is Sony's Santa Monica studio at the absolute height of their abilities. With a sequel set to land on the PS5 and this now available for pretty much pennies, boy oh boy are you in for a treat if you're yet to experience God of War. And number 1, What Remains of Edith Finch. Few games are able to pack in the emotional punch and narrative oomph that What Remains of Edith Finch does, and almost none can do so over such a short runtime as this. Coming in at only 2 to 3 hours long, What Remains of Edith Finch manages to weave together the troubling fates of nearly every member of the Finch clan through touching, emotional vignettes. While one sees you soaring with the birds, another sees you simply playing on a swing set. These journeys take you from the mundane drudgery of factory work to a faraway kingdom, from the simplicity of a daily bath to exploring a magical underwater playground. As the stories of the Finch family are retold with stirring imagination and often troubling revelations,